A lot of teams had a lot of really nice moves at the trade deadline. I like the Sixers getting Buddy Hield. I like the Mavs getting PJ Washington. I like the Thunder getting Gordon Hayward. But I don't think I'm being a homer when I say that the Knicks were the unequivocal winners of the trade deadline. Quentin Grimes, Ryan Arcidiacono, Malachi Flynn, and Evan Fournier, and 2 second-round picks for Alec, Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. It's very funny because when this trade was first reported, it was first reported as the Knicks are essentially swapping Quentin Grimes for Alec Burks. And when that happened, I lost my head. I was so pissed. I lost all faith in Leon. I was like, why are we trading a young, cost-controlled, two-way guard for a guy in his 30s who's more on offense? It felt like, oh, we're like just doing this to appease Tibbs because he's a Tibbs guy, and like we're just trying to mold the roster in his image, and I was so frustrated. But then once I heard that the Knicks got back Bogdanovic in that trade, there was no denying it's a massive upgrade for the Knicks offense because, so in terms of going from Grimes to Burks, you definitely lose something at the defensive end. Grimes is just better. But in a way, you actually upgrade offensively. Grimes has a reputation as a shooter, but he's actually fallen off a bit from 38% from 3 last year to 36%, whereas Burks is at 40% this year and has been for the last few years. I think Burks can also put the ball on the floor a bit more. And then how did they also get Bogdanovic out of this deal? Bogdanovic is a 40% three-point shooter on over 7 attempts a game. He's averaging over 20 points. He's done that on losing teams like the Pistons, but he's also done it on winning teams like when he was in Utah with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. After the Knicks traded Obi Toppin in the offseason, one of the big concerns for the Knicks was that they didn't really seem to have a backup four. Now they do, and he's one of the best snipers in the game. How did they pull that off? A super deep Knicks team just got so much deeper. Like, listen to this rotation projected once everyone gets healthy. You have Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, Randall, and Hartenstein starting. Off the bench, you have Deuce, Burks, Hart, Bogdanovic, and Mitch, and that's not even accounting for Precious Achiuwa. And the reason I really like this move is because it gives the Knicks a lot more flexibility and versatility with their lineups, where I think a lot of the second unit lineups they were trotting out didn't have enough shooting because it was a lot of Grimes who's been up and down, and then a lot of Josh Hart, Precious, like guys who can't really shoot the ball. But now you had Burks, who's an upgrade over Quentin Grimes at that end, and then you had Bogdanovic, and I'm so excited to see how Tibbs mixes and matches all these different guys to figure out which skill sets complement which skill sets. Perfect example, Saturday night against the Lakers, right? Julius is out, OG is out, Knicks don't really have so much help around Brunson, so what do the Lakers do? They just double team the crap out of him, and the Knicks didn't really have the options to beat them, right? It was a lot of 4-on-3 with Josh Hart with the ball, and I love Josh Hart, but he wasn't so great there, and you put Bogdanovic in that role, all of a sudden he's taking 10 threes and probably hitting 4 of them. It's not to say that there aren't some concerns at the defensive end. Again, going from Grimes to Burke and Bogdanovic isn't such a good defender, but again, that just goes back to what I said about like, it's gonna be on Tibbs to really figure out which lineups work. And it's like, okay, Burks and Bogdanovic, help the offense. So who are we going to play them with? And then, but they need help defensively. So do we pair them more defensive guys like a Hart or a Deuce? I think so much of succeeding in the NBA comes down to being able to do so many different things. It comes down to versatility, both in the players you have and also the lineups you can throw out. And by making this move, the Knicks just gave themselves so many more options to use that will unquestionably make them better. And to do that without giving up a first-round pick. They didn't give up a first-round pick. They still have all those first-round picks. I think it's 9 total over the next handful of years that they can use in the offseason to, in theory, go out and get a star. The fact that they made this unquestionable upgrade in a way that didn't mess with their cap space. Burks is going to be free agent this year, but he's only signed for $10 million, so you imagine you could re-sign him at not like such an insanely high price. Bogdanovic is only going to be on the books for $19 million next year, so even if the Knicks don't really like what they're getting out of him or want to use him for something else, that's a really manageable contract to move. So you get better, you get deeper, you address skills that you need, you address positions that you need, you do it without giving up a first-round pick, you do it without tanking your cap space. Leon Rose deserves Executive of the Year. It's really as simple as that. And so obviously it's going to take a bit of time for the Knicks to get this team fully healthy because obviously Mitch is out, Randall's out, and now we just heard that OG is going to be out a few more weeks. But when this team gets fully healthy, man, just like the depth they have and the versatility at both ends and the options, like, oh, I'm so excited.